So these are the areas right now that, this is Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. This is all flood data information, areas that are flooding at different flood stages, different forecasts, different stuff, the Mississippi River here. But long term, what I've been noticing is there's an uptrend through the end of August that there's going to be major flooding, a 95% chance of major flooding to continue to occur, and the flood waters not to really come down till the end of August. So there's going to be a lot of flooding, and any more rain is not going to help this area, none at all, which is not good. I'm going to pivot up to the floods in Oklahoma right now in the similar kind of map. The data on these maps are slow to update, but what this map does is it takes the forecasted water level on the rivers and it basically overlays that with the terrain to see where those flood waters will go based on that data and that information. So the data they're feeding into this is actually fairly accurate overall based on flood projections from precipitation and flood gauges. And so it's reading up on this. It's a very new tool they've got. It's AI generated. When I compare this to maps that I do, it's very similar, and I'll show you one here. So you can see here on this town here, and when I compare this data, because some of these areas I know the flooding pretty well, and when I compare this data to basically using GIS software to calculate out the actual flows on, just Google Earth, it actually does come out to be fairly accurate. And so this is going to be a very valuable tool in disaster relief to know what areas are hit. And I was looking at some of the stuff down there in Mississippi, but there isn't a lot of data entered. I've noticed the data on this stuff is about 12 to 24 hours old, it seems like, just based on observations, reports, and stuff like that. So when they're forecasting water to come up. But this will be a very good tool to know what areas are getting flooded during a flood and what areas are not, potentially to look at. It just helps isolate down the areas that are actually going to be needing help and the areas that don't. And hopefully these types of tools like this, they're coming out with AI for weather, will actually help improve the warnings, getting the message out to people. But just wanted to share some of this stuff here on this, different tools and different floods going on. But eastern Oklahoma is flooding. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, they got a very long road ahead. There's thousands of homes that are going to need muck outs. They're going to need volunteers. They're going to need supplies. They're going to need donations. They're going to need equipment down there. A lot of the areas are still underwater. They're still trying to reach people and provide food and water to people by boat to reach people because the roads are still not accessible. They're still underwater, and that will probably be that way for a while yet. So it'll be a long road for those people down in Mississippi with Arthur's flooding down there. And there's more rain, and as more rain falls up to the north, all the water runs downstream, so it's not going to help the situation on some areas. But that's it for this.